Hi everybody, how you doing? Dr. Chris Montanaro here. Just wanted to go through a few of my quizzes that I created already, just to kind of show how easy it was, some of the steps that I took, and if you guys want to try them out a little bit, just to kind of see the basic flow in its live usage, then I will leave those links as well. So first off, I just clicking on Smart Quiz Builder in my back end of the website, and this one's a test. So this is one of the main ones that I've done from an athlete standpoint. It's a big part of my office. I work on a lot of athletes. I competed in the Ironman World Championships, and I played basketball in college. We went to the Sweet 16. So, just athletes have always been a big part of what I do. And then a few test ones here, but the main one for the office website is this one here. So I'm going to start out with this one. We've got 47 questions. I'm just going to click on Edit. Big fan of the movie Patch Adams. Have a GIF file there to start that off. And we've got our basic settings. You're just more or less going to pick, the name of the quiz that you want to call it, a little bit of a description so people know what they're getting at, and then most everything I've done so far is a personality quiz. That's just what you're going to see when you're doing this, is that you pretty much just work along the top. You go through all of these different tabs, and then these last two, you could do a lead generation form where they leave their name and email, and then you get a short code at the end of it so that you could just embed that right into the website on whatever page that you want. So you get your display settings. I've got it as a pop-up. I prefer that. I'll show you what that looks up just for my personal taste on the website. The progress bar, you can turn that on and off really easily. I did want an opt-in form, and then everything is going to go into both WordPress and into DAP. That runs the whole back end of my website, all my websites actually. Big fan there, and they'll get all the newsletters and updates that are specific for them. So I've got that. Next, you will see I've got the GIF file that I uploaded here. Just click on the little camera, and you can put in any picture or GIF file that you want to. And then take this quiz. So this is in the back end of Smart Quiz Builder. If you actually look on my website, it's the very top. I embedded it at the top. They come here, and instead of them taking the quiz on the website like this, when you actually click Take This Quiz, it becomes a big pop-up, and I like the way that looked for the website. First set of questions actually goes through a lot of the different types of patients that I see in the office, whether it's the traditional chiropractic stuff with neck pain, back pain, but I also see people with a lot of other things, from diabetes and gastrointestinal issues, energy issues. One of my things with the office is it's typically more of a premium level of care. It's not the 2 minutes you're in and out and just expect to pay your $10, $15, $30 copay to a chiropractic office. Usually I have a situation where most of the patients have already been to a dozen other doctors and haven't really gotten the help, and they come and see me. And I've got a lot of different therapies that maybe a couple dozen offices in the entire country even have. The whole point of this was twofold. One, to direct them to the information they need to and the type of appointment that they're looking to set up. So I'm going to actually click on a few of these just so you can get a basic idea of the flow. We'll go to back pain, and there's a few questions. Most of these have to do about their posture and activities of daily living, positions that they're in, things that would just make sense. Are you an athlete and beating your body up a little bit more, like an Ironman athlete, for example? Do you sit all day? If you want to tell people any more information, I hurt my back lifting, but it doesn't matter. And then the very last question in here, what describes the level of healthcare that you're looking for? And this is where I only, at one point, until recently, only offered one new patient visit. It's an hour and a half. It's $250, and we spent a lot of time, deep diving into what's going on with somebody's health, and just get the changes that you just couldn't do in a 2-minute period of time. But the first question people would always ask is, do you accept my insurance? And because I don't participate with insurances, that was always, a quick hang up a lot of times. And I wanted to just be able to help people that were working a little bit more on a budget as well, get them started on care and getting them the help that they're looking for. So, I've got one option. If somebody is going to be more insurance based, their cost is the most important decision for their health care, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I created a new patient visit that's a little bit more focused. We're probably only going to focus on one area, but it gets them started, and it keeps things in a budget. The next one, they still they're not going to be able to use their insurance. The first visit here with the 30-minute visit was going to be a little bit more easy for them budget-wise, not the $250. I forget exactly what I have that one for. Middle one, we spent a little bit more time, an hour with one-on-one time, and then the last one is just my more typical visit with an hour and a half and the $250 new patient visit. So depending on which one of these they click, it's going to go to a different outcome. So I'll click on the first one. We might go through it again. So they're need to use my insurance at all costs. I have to keep costs to a minimum. They click on that. They fill out their name. I'll just call this test, email test@test.com, and then you click get started. It submits that. Now it's going to go to, this is the result, as exceptional care on a budget. All right, so now they've got the normal 30-minute focused exam instead of $250. It's a little bit easier for them to get started. Follow-up visits for $25 for a 10-minute visit, where my typical follow-up throughout the last 16 years has been a half-hour visit, and that's $100. So it gives them a little bit different of a price point to just get in the office, get some help, realize that it's always easier to spend a few dollars out of your pocket once you start seeing the results. And I actually got to the point where I just started telling people, look, come to the office, let me treat you. If you get a result, you're improving, then you can pay for the visit. If you have no result, I didn't help you, then we just part ways, we shake hands, and I didn't help you, and you don't have to pay for the visit. That's how much that I had believed in how much I'll be able to help people when they come to the office with a lot of the things that we have available. So anyway, they can go directly to schedule an appointment directly at the scheduling link, or they could just book a free discovery call. If they're still not sure, they've got some questions and they just want to talk to me one-on-one, schedule a free 15-minute discovery call, and it points them in the direction of the type of visits that they're specifically looking for. So I'll go back to managing the quizzes. So that was under the start button, what the beginning or start of this is going to look like. You pretty much don't even really need any major training if you just follow these tabs along the way. So really, one of the more important ones you'll spend a little bit more time on is your outcomes. So for me, I've got 18 different outcomes. Part of the reason for that, if you'll see, is I've got exceptional care on a budget. Outcome 2, a little more one-on-one time. That's more of the, so the first one is a 30-minute new patient visit. Outcome 2 is 60 minutes. Outcome 3 is an hour and a half, the more typical of what I've done. And each one just has its own specifics. They talk about a little different costs of appointment times, and they can book the 60-minute visit right away or still with the discovery call. You got third outcome, comprehensive new patient visit. It's $250, and they can do the 90-minute visit or still do a discovery call with me. Just, again, pointing them in the right direction without having to get lost on the website and they're just not sure where they need to go. And then I've got all the other outcomes that are more of the disease base. So some of them are based on fatigue, same exact outcomes with GI problems, diabetes, things of that nature. So we've got, I'll come here in a little bit. Actually, let me pause. Okay. So after you're done with the outcomes and figuring out whatever you want to do, you've just got so many options here. You can write all the information in the world or have links. You can put a link on the continue button that sends them to a certain website. You can send them to your booking calendar, wherever it is that your outcome where you need them to be. And then you go to the questions, and this is the next part that's gonna take a little bit more time just to think through on what you're looking for. So as you'll see, this is the first question that I had on the list, and based on what people answer, they, you've got back pain, neck pain. If you answer one of these as your primary concern, you have a whole line of questioning. I don't even remember, 6, 7, 8, 10 questions all associated with that. If you've got hormonal issues, weight loss issues, diabetes, GI stuff, they're all going to have their specifics. So then the next step is to connect it to an outcome. So for the back pain one, I had a specific outcome: exceptional level of care on a budget, a little more one-on-one time with a comprehensive visit. I click all three so that they have equal weighting, and then depending on which one they choose, they're going to go to that particular outcome ultimately when they get to that very last question. I want this, so these are all going to be the same for 8 or 10 questions, and then the very last question, which I'll show you, they're going to end up having the 3 options for basically built around price. So I'll come down to a little bit different one, say with GI issues. If I scroll down, you'll see exceptional care, basically the same idea but specific to GI. And then I've got a little more one-on-one associated with GI problems, and then the comprehensive associated with GI problems. But then I can segment these people, and if I want to send out a newsletter, I can tag them and just send them GI related stuff. Acid reflux, maybe they've had a gastric bypass, maybe they've got some other type of digestive issues, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, any number of different things that if I've got a newsletter going out, I can direct it to those people. And then just hit save. So you've got all of your questions, all of your outcomes, and then it's just the lead generation form, which I just use the one that's all ready to go. And then you get your short code. I copy that short code, and you're going to go, I just pasted it directly into the website, and you're good to go at that point. The other one that I had done was for athletic performance purposes. Like I said, it's just a lot of athletes in my office, especially Ironman triathlon athletes, and you just got a whole line of, I think it's 11 different questions, and a similar setup in the type of visit that they ultimately are looking for that fits into their budget. And then I'll go to my quiz funnel here. This is a really fun way to kind of see all of it all at once. Let me pause this again, make sure that I'm logged in. Okay, all logged in here, selecting a quiz. I'll go back to the quiz that we had. And I didn't pay attention at first between the plus and minus things. I take to minus outwards, and you can get a really good look at the entire thing here, which I really liked a lot. You can drag this around wherever you want. So this is just kind of an overall look at what happens. So a lot of the first questions, back pain, neck pain, those are going to go along this whole line of questioning, get to the last one where it's going to be, the on a budget, 60-minute visit or the 90-minute visit. I've seen a dozen other doctors. I don't mind paying out of pocket. I just need some results, and I know that I need a doctor to spend some more time with me. That's what would be what they would pick there. So. And then just each line of, let's see, this one was going to carpal tunnel. There's some more specific there. GI related stuff. There's a bunch of GI related questions that go along throughout that. And you just it's very easy. You're just grabbing that dot, pulling it over to the question you want, and you keep pulling them over to get to the end result that you're looking for. So, this whole thing took me probably 4 or 5 hours between thinking up all the questions, typing them in, and dragging them everywhere that you would want them to be. It would have gone a lot faster if I just had, because I was having to scroll over and over to see because they're all lined up I would have been able to see them all when I zoom out a little bit easier. So just dragging and dropping them would have saved me some time for sure. But other than that, that's, we've got branching activated, which is all of what this is. It's kind of a decent overview. You can see the other athletic performance one is a lot more basic. It's only 11 questions. I'll zoom out here. Starts off with and everybody that by the time they get to this quiz, they already know that they're an athlete, and it's just on a very specific page of the website. So they go through a bunch of different questions that are more specific to athletes. And the last one is actually talking about a lot of the different therapies in the office, if they've ever had any experience with these. And most of the time, the athletes have not. Between cold laser therapy, shockwave therapy is one of my absolute favorites. The Hakamed. Pulse electromagnetic field therapy, applied kinesiology, active release. I created a piece of exercise equipment called Peak Fit Pro, and it's gotten a lot of attention from some actually pretty big name people. Charles Poliquin was using it. He's known as the Strength Sensei, trained over 800 Olympic athletes. Ben Greenfield and I have done podcasts together. He's one of the biggest names in biohacking. So, there's just a lot of really cool things from a strength perspective in the office that a lot of people haven't heard about. So anyway, they can actually check all the things that they've had experience with. Most of the time they haven't. And then they'll get to those last 3 questions again about the type of visit, the amount of time that they want to spend, and we can get started and get as much out of that as we can. So I've got those 2 set up. The last one that I want to do is actually on that website. I'll probably put it right here at the top. And I'm going to be posting this in Vina's group. I had one of the big neurology institutes that we did a podcast together, that podcast with Ben Greenfield using the equipment. I'll probably put a quiz right above this. So if you briefly read through some of the stuff and you had any suggestions about questions or things that you'd want to know as an outside person that's just never been exposed to this before, I'd love, any input that anybody has, because this is the next quiz that I'm going to put together. But these first 2, this athletic one that I did, this less than an hour, I had this up and running between thinking up all the questions, putting it together, mapping it out, and pasting it onto here. So a lot of great information. The quiz builder has been phenomenal. I'm so excited about using this on a bigger scale. These are just the first 2. I've got my mind spinning with a lot of other quizzes that I'm going to be building for different purposes. Actually, I've just started a Facebook ad that is going to put people through this particular funnel. And then I've got a lecture coming up it's September 17th for my patients. And so that's kind of the entire, we're going from Facebook to this quiz to either setting up an appointment or inviting them to come to the lecture later this month. So I've integrated it quickly. I'm a chiropractor, a nurse, and I'm in nurse practitioner school. So time is limited. And that just kind of goes to show how easy this program has been to be able to get set up and utilize it so quickly without a lot of reading 100 pages and trial and error 1,000 times. It's really just self-clicking. I'll go back to manage quizzes again real quick. When you've got your quizzes, I'll just go to this one, go to edit. Again, super, super simple. When you're going across, these are all the tabs. You just need to spend a little bit of time in each one. The first 2 take you about 30 seconds each. The start one might take you, a minute or 2, and then whatever time it takes to find the picture or the GIF file that you want. It's really the outcomes and the questions. Like, where do you want people to end up? Whether it's a specific website page, your appointment calendar, a phone call, a Zoom meeting. You just got to figure out where the outcome is, and then the questions that you want people to answer along the way. So that'll take a little brainstorming. But once you come up with the questions, it takes no time at all to just write a question, throw in different pictures along the way. and set that up. Got your lead generation, get your short code, and you are ready to go. So very simple. I hope more than anything that the video just shows how easy this is and will help people just kind of incorporate this into your own business. And if you have any questions at all or thoughts, I'll be pasting it on the Facebook group. Feel free to ask. I'd love to, just help however I can, because I know how much it's helped me. Venus helped me so many different times through over the last 16 years. And when I have a product that is this high of quality and I believe and have used for 16-year period of time between DAP and all the different plugins, I love working with other businesses that have that kind of quality built behind them, and makes it easy for me to just want to do a video and help them out as well. So thank you so much, and I will look forward to helping however I can, and I'll see you in the Facebook group.